We may have just watched Billy Napier's final season opener as the head coach of the Florida Gators.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day we are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Monday, if you want to say happy. I am Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. A lot of you guys know where I am now, right? I've been getting the tweets all weekend. Fun stuff. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast with zero sugar and a convenient portable size. It's the perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. Go to 5hourenergy.com and use promo code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off on your order. Offers only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. And before we can talk about the game, I'm just going to take a moment to just say thank you to everybody. Gainesville was win, lose, draw. I don't care. Gainesville was an incredible experience. It always is. Just so much love in Gainesville. I very much appreciate it. It will never get old to me. A lot of people came up and then we talked and we chopped it up a little bit. And it was just a fantastic experience. Got to meet a bunch of people that I talk to all the time. And this opportunity is not lost on me. So again, just thank you very much to everybody that supports the show, that came to see me. Even the Canes fans, there were quite a few Canes fans that I saw that they were like, you and us. It was a fun little moment. And yeah, so just thank you. It will never get old to me. I very much appreciate it. And it's just an incredible experience. Again, win, lose, or draw. I love every time I get the opportunity to head down there. So thank you very much for supporting me, saying hi, tuning in, even if you just listen to one episode. Genuinely, I can't express how much I appreciate that. But getting into the actual game, yikes. This is the second straight season opener that was just an absolute cluster, you know what. Yeah, it's there's no other way to put it. And I will say this, because I'm sure there's some Miami fans here listening to this or watching this. Yes, I was absolutely wrong. I will absolutely give credit to Miami and the coaching staff at Miami. Good job. A lot of transfers came in. You had them gelled great right away. Good job there. I understand. I still hate Miami, absolutely, but I will give credit where credit's due. Cam balled the hell out. Offense was clicking. Defense was clicking. It was a great game for Miami. To the Florida side, though, this staff should be embarrassed. No other, this staff should absolutely be embarrassed. Because here's the thing. Last year when you went up against Utah, we kind of gave you the we'll chalk it travel, road game, all that stuff. That's how you're opening the season. We'll chalk it. You're the home team, and you didn't show up at all. At all. Lost 41-17. That's just, it's embarrassing, right? It's embarrassing to see just the performance that was put out there. I'm not even talking about facing Miami and blood. Most points that Florida's allowed in the season home opener ever. It's just absolutely horrible. And here, I know that there's at least some members of the staff that will see this and hear this, because I said the same thing after the Utah game last year. I said this coaching staff should be embarrassed, have some damn pride, right? But they don't. Some of them don't. I'm not saying everybody, but some of them don't. But the staff should be embarrassed. And I said it last year, and a bunch of them unfollowed me and blocked me and have since refollowed me and unblocked me. But man, if that's the product that Florida Gators fans are going to receive this season, go ahead and unfollow me now. Go ahead and block me now. Because if that's the product that we're going to see as a Florida Gators fan base, you are not going to hear kind things from me. And honestly, if that's the product that we're going to see for the Florida Gators fan base, you won't have to worry about hearing from me much longer, because you won't be here much longer. Absolutely pitiful performance, should be ashamed of themselves. Should be ashamed. There were plenty of players that screwed up. There were plenty of things that went wrong that wasn't exclusively on the coaching staff, but so much of it falls on this coaching staff. I understand the players need to execute argument. Absolutely. Graham Mertz had wide open receivers that he missed at times, even when he wasn't under pressure, or receivers that he could have thrown open when he wasn't under pressure, that he missed the throws. We'll talk about him later. But man, they were just far too often just like, I never want to hear scared money don't make money for Billy Napier again. I never want to see him wearing that shirt again because, oh my God, I don't think that you can come out and play more scared than you did. I mean, look, it was just horrible, terrible, no good, very bad football there. I think that the coaching staff should be ashamed of themselves. There's no other way to put it. I know that people are talking about, oh, Billy Napier's buyout's $26 million. Gary Condren is sending this on the message boards. Nothing's going to happen for a while, okay? I know that there's a lot of people who, and regardless of how you feel, regardless of how I feel, nothing's going to happen for a while. It could be this year. It should be this year if things don't clean up. I've said this entire offseason, you can go back to the end of last season, what I said about this program and Billy Napier and his job security. I've been staying on this and I will continue to stay on this until I'm told otherwise. 5 wins keeps your job. I said it at the end of last season when the recruiting class fell apart and everybody was talking about just get rid of him now if you're going to lose all these kids. I said he's going to get this year at the absolute minimum. 5 wins is the number, I think. And I said 5 wins is a gray area. So even then, I'm not entirely convinced. I still think it's 5, but I think 5 is the gray area because you need to be significantly improved. However, you went out and did that in the first game when you had the most time to prepare. When you kept talking about, oh well, we've got a lot of returning players. We got some of the most returning production in college football, and that's the crap that you tried to shovel to us. Have some pride. Have some pride. And for the Florida Gators fans that have the fair argument, I'll say, the fair argument of, well, you can't keep cycling coaches every 3 or 4 years. You're never going to be able to build things. My rebuttal to that is, what if you know he's not the guy? I'm asking hypothetically, what if you know he's not the guy? Because he's got his recruits. And that's what we saw. His recruits, his portal additions, it's his team. The overwhelming majority of the roster, Napier guys. And that's what we saw. There's no other blame to be put out there. Who's playing that's still a Mullen guy? Austin Barber starting at left tackle. Rest of the offense, Jake Slaughter starting at center. 2 of your better players on Saturday were Mullen guys. Just saying, 2 of your better players were Mullen guys. Defensively, Desmond Watson, who played better than Cam Jackson. Derek Wingo. Jason Marshall. And I think that's it. Tyreek Sapp, Justice Boone. There's 5? I think that's it. Pretty sure that's it for the Mullen guys. And Jeremy Crawshaw, punter. But man, have some damn pride. I understand you're about to play Samford and you better blow them out. You better blow out Samford. But then you've got Texas A&M, who also looked horrendous on Saturday. You need to win that game. Because, buddy, they're already calling for your head. And it's not going to get quiet with a Samford blowout. You need to blow out Samford, and you need to beat Texas A&M. Without a doubt, beat. And I will say this before we move on to the next bit. For any fans that are complaining about referees, I agree. The referees were bad. I do. I agree they were bad. However, when you lose 41-17, I don't think the refs matter at that point. I mean, come on now. What, you think the refs are accounting for 25 points, we'll say? That's gonna win you the game there? Like, come on now. Yeah, it's just brutal. Just brutal. We will talk about Graham Mertz and DJ Lagway making his Florida Gators debut next on Locked On Gators. I mean, I told you I was in Gainesville. I'm clearly home now. If you're watching, I'm home. If you're listening, it sounds my travel mic busted on the way to Gainesville, so it just sounded like absolute crap while I was down there. But I had an early flight yesterday morning. I had to leave my Airbnb at about 4:15 in the morning, and I promise you, I am not the kind of person that'll function properly driving at 4:15 in the morning. I use 5-hour energy because it's a little shot that you take a shot legitimately. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're this big. Great. Best flavor you got. But took it, got up, hit the road, drove from Gainesville to Jacksonville, hit the flight. 0 sugar and a convenient portable size is the perfect pick-me-up for getting stuff done. And the 5-hour energy website has flavors galore, watermelon, tropical burst. Like I said, grape's my favorite. It's always going to be. I'm a grape guy. If you go to 5hourenergy.com, the number 5hourenergy.com, and get some 5-hour energy product today, you can use our promo code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. Offers only valid until September 30th on one order. Can't be used with other promotions. The code's not good on subscription orders. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. Thanks for being Locked On Gators, your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free to listen to the podcast and on YouTube. I'm going to hope that my voice doesn't sound as bad on the show as it does normally or as it does right now in reality. I completely lost my voice from that game and then the live show after, and it was just a mess. Speaking of a mess, Graham Mertz played his worst game as a Florida Gator on Saturday. And I'm not even talking about the interceptions. I'm talking about straight up playing poorly. We saw some of the, again, this is the second segment on Friday was for Florida. Like, Graham Mertz can't be getting sacked like that. And he was getting sacked. And a lot of it was his fault. We spent so much time this offseason talking about, oh, well, Cam Ward holds the ball too long. You know who held the ball too long? Graham Mertz. There were quite a few times where he held the ball so long. You got to get rid of it. You got to throw it away. You got to do something to be better than you were. And simply put, he wasn't. And for Florida, that's unacceptable. You're not going to win meaningful games like that. And you're not going to win any games like that. Graham Mertz just played a bad game. The one pick. The other pick was DJ Lagway. But Graham Mertz played a bad game, had multiple opportunities to complete and convert big passes and didn't. Specifically, you have early in the game on one of the first drives, it might have been the second drive, where he threw to, I think it was Elijah Badger in the end zone, was too high. Khalil Jackson he had in the corner of the end zone in that same quarter, or maybe the start of the second quarter, threw it too far to the out. It was too far of a back shoulder throw, which is better than, throwing an interception or throwing an interceptable pass, but too far out wide for Khalil Jackson to make a play on the ball. Realistically, I understand potential pass interference. Don't care. Don't care about that. We had the Elijah Badger throw again, where Badger was running a post route, had maybe a step and a half in front of the DB, and the ball's behind Badger. And so the DB is actually closer than Badger. Graham, I don't know what was going on with him, but he played horrendous. He had the slide, the scramble and the slide, and then he had a scramble for, I believe, a first down, where he collided with a defender for, I don't know why, but on the little fake swing, ran, picked up space, got the first. But just too many mistakes that a sixth-year senior quarterback shouldn't be making. It was inexcusable. And then, of course, the concussion, which is just horrible. And I know that a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, at least we got to see DJ Lagway now. I just can't in good conscience go, oh, we get to see DJ Lagway when I know it's because a player just got hurt. With DJ Lagway, I will say this. I chalk his performance. I think that a lot of people were really excited to see him, and I think he showed some of the reason why you should be excited there. His interception was really weird. It looked like some kind of GT counter RPO. It was really weird where I forgot who the right guard and right tackle were on that play, but they both wrapped as if you're running counter. But Jake Slaughter was supposed to run all the way to the edge and make the block, and then DJ Lagway looked like his hand got like kind of hit and it got picked. It was just a really weird decision there. I thought that the handoff was the right decision there. Again, it looked like an RPO. I think it was I forgot which it was. There was a former Gator that tweeted about it, and he was like, "Oh, it looks like a just straight up GT counter," and he threw the alert, which to me is RPO there if you even have that alert as an option. But it was just a really weird decision. I thought the handoff would have been the right decision there. But the good stuff even happened against soft coverage. He converted on 2 slants, I think it was, against soft coverage when you're getting blown out. He had the scramble against soft coverage when you're getting blown out. And I'm not saying that he played poorly because of that. I'm just saying that I chalk it because how are you truly going to evaluate that? They're playing off coverage. They're letting you do whatever. They're just like, hey, we're just going to keep you at the end zone is our goal. How are you going to truly evaluate that? I can't. And I will say this, regardless of Graham Mertz's status this weekend, I am expecting DJ Lagway to get the start against Samford. I'm not expecting Graham Mertz to play at all against Samford, even if he's healthy, even if he's cleared concussion protocol. I don't think he's going to play. And I don't think he should play. I think you should go, hey, we're going to give DJ Lagway the keys for this game. We'll worry about Graham Mertz after that. And I think even if Lagway lights it up, you're going to hear the fans clamoring for him. It happens every time that there's a high-ranked quarterback and the starter struggles and the backup comes in, even if it's garbage time and makes a couple plays. But I think that Lagway should get the start against Samford, again, regardless of Graham Mertz's health. I think that DJ Lagway, of course, has the pop potential that maybe Graham doesn't have of extending plays with his legs and picking up actual chunk yardage with his legs. But I will say that one game is not going to change my opinion of Graham Mertz. I still think he's a good quarterback, good college quarterback. I think he's going to be a late round NFL draft pick if he's drafted at all. I've been saying this whole offseason, he's physically limited. He needs the time. But one thing that he really needs to improve on is the sacks. And I understand that he's playing behind a poor offensive line, but he knows he's playing behind a poor offensive line. Like he's aware that he's playing behind a poor offensive line. He knows he has to get the ball out quickly. He knows pressure is going to be coming in, especially against a Miami team that's their thing. They're trying to bring pressure. He knows that. Just got to go. Also, I will say this. I don't understand the tight end usage in the pass blocking game. I was way off on it. I said that Hayden Hansen should be on that right side, helping out a lot. We'll talk about why in the next segment. But that Hayden Hansen should be on the right side, helping out a lot. And he wasn't. In fact, he only was a pass blocker on 3 plays. He played basically the same amount of snaps as Arlis Boardingham. He played 3 less snaps. But he was only a pass blocker on 3 plays. Mind-boggling. Arlis was a pass blocker on 1 play, gave up a sack. I understand you can't go, we're just never going to put Arlis in pass protection. But it's just really weird how things worked out. The pass protection plan seemed odd. It was ineffective. Montrell was back there quite a few times. Montrell did a good job in pass protection. He's a pretty good pass protecting back. It was just weird. I don't get it. I don't like it. I hate it, especially when, again, offensive line, the right side of it, still not very good. We will talk about the offensive line, unfortunately, next on Locked On Gators. Locked On Gators fans, I want to take a moment to give you a heads up on a brand new mobile game that I think you're going to love as much as I do. I told you I had a flight yesterday. I spent the entire time playing Ultimate College Football Head Coach. It's an amazing game and simulation that you get to step into the shoes of a head coach and lead your college football program to glory. So the Florida Gators lost on Saturday, but on Sunday morning, they won a national championship. Okay? On Sunday morning, they won a national championship. Spread offense, zone coverage defense, aggressive special teams unit. That's how we did it. We did a hell of a job. It was a hell of a game. We beat Harvard in the national championship. They were undefeated up until then. It was very, very surprising. I forgot who we beat before them, but it was also like I think Idaho. I was like, what the hell is going on in this playoff? But that's what it looked like there. We went 9-3 and then went through the playoffs. I'm just saying. We have a special offer for Locked On Gators fans. Use the promo code LOCKEDONCFB, all caps and no spaces, inside the game store to receive a free boost to your program. Just download the game, visit ultimate-cfb.com, or look it up on the app stores. It's Ultimate College Football Head Coach. Begin your coaching legacy today. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. And we need to have a conversation about the offensive line. Rob Sale, I'm talking about you, buddy. Come on now. Let's be real. Rob Sale's in year 3. I don't put too much fault on Jonathan DeCoster. When we have 2 offensive line coaches, which we'll leave that where it is, right? I think pretty much everybody stands in the same boat there. 2 offensive line coaches. One of them is in year 3. One of them is in month 9. Yeah, I'm going to blame the guy in year 3 more when the offensive line has been bad. I think in 2022, the offensive line was overrated because of how good Anthony Richardson was at extending plays and just taking off running before pressure could even start to come in. 2023 was horrendous. 2024, better than 2023, but bad still. Like I said, I don't think they can get worse, and I don't think they did get worse. And I will say this as well. The recruiting approach is one where I don't have much of an issue of saying, hey, we're going to take these big athletes. And if you saw me in Gainesville, there was a conversation I had with someone who I don't think I ever got his name, and I'm so sorry for that. I had a conversation with after the game. He stopped me. We were talking about it, and I was like, look, I'm fine with the approach of we're going to take big athletes and develop them at DB, at edge, at offensive line. I respect that approach. I do. But the thing is, if you don't develop them and you can't get them to play as that unit, then you just look bad. And that's what we saw there. Like, the offensive line played poorly. We'll talk about the individuals. But it's just, I respect the recruiting approach of we're going to grab big athletes and develop them. I totally get that. But at a certain point, we need to see proof of concept, and we haven't yet. Also, I will say this. Billy Napier and Mario Cristobal got hired at basically the same time. Took 2 very different approaches to the offensive line. Mario's was, we're going to hammer the offensive line and develop them. Billy's was, we're going to bring in the big athletes and develop them. And one side has clearly been outperforming the other. And I will say this as well. Miami has invested significantly more, literally invested capital-wise in offensive line, whereas Florida didn't. Florida and Miami went at it for a lot of guys. You had Francis Mauigoa, you had Samson Okunlola, who they went at it for. Tommy Kinsler was the one they were battling for. Guys that Florida also won. Rod Kearney just flipped. You can even add Florida State in there. You've seen the battles happen. But one team prioritized it more, and that's the team that pummeled you. I know that, it's not apples to apples, money, conference, whatever you want to say. But Billy and Mario for as long as they are both the head coaches at their current universities, which might not be much longer, they're going to constantly be compared to one another. And right now, one just mollywopped them. If you're earmuffs for a second, it's not a bad word, but we've been saying in the whole summer, the Twitter spaces have been belt to ass, and boy, like I will say this as well for Billy, it drove me crazy. I meant to say this earlier. It drove me crazy that Mario is on the sideline after the game doing the Gator chomp and like breaking it over his knee, and Billy Napier's in the press conference. Man, well, Miami's got a good team. Oh, buddy. I wish someone just came up and slapped him upside the head. Like, what the? You're supposed to hate them. What do you mean they got a good team? I don't care if they just pummeled you. You don't. It's wild to me the amount of disrespect that other coaches have been giving to Florida. And Billy's like, yeah, they got a hell of a team, hell of a program. They're a good coaching staff. It's true, but I don't care. I don't care. Talk. Oh my God. It was just horrible. Speaking of horrible, Cam Waits played terrible on Saturday. And I don't like to do the victory lap thing for a player not playing well. But this is one of those times where we talk about bringing in a big athlete and developing them, and it hasn't worked out. That's what Cam Waits was. He was a big athlete that you were planning on developing by Louisiana. He was there for his freshman year. He came over with Billy Napier. So he's been with Billy for 4 years. And you brought him over and gave him the start at right tackle over Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. I've never seen it before. Cam Waits got a 0.0 pass blocking grade there. I've never seen that. It's happened before, but I never saw it before. That was crazy to me. 4 pressures allowed on 19 pass blocking snaps. All 4 came on all 4 pressures allowed came on true pass sets. He only had 7 of those. He had 7 true pass sets, and he allowed 4 pressures on them. True pass sets are no play action, no rollout, no screen, no dropping 8. And I think you have to throw between 2 and 4.5 seconds or something like that. But that's the true pass set. Cam Waits had 7 of them and allowed 4 pressures on those. That's terrible. Nothing short of embarrassing. And he's someone that, again, I'm not trying to do the victory lap thing, but it's one of those times where this offseason, I kept seeing Florida Gators fans on Twitter and in the comments go, oh man, when Cam Waits is like, if Cam Waits is healthy, he's going to be a beast. He's going to be a bulldozer. He's going to be that. Why? He didn't play well in the bowl game in 2022 at guard, which, by the way, yesterday someone tweeted at me, well, it's because he's not playing guard. He was terrible there in 2022. 2023, he wasn't good when he was playing tackle. And I've said I'll chalk his 2023 because he was playing 6-8 months after recovering from a torn Achilles. But he wasn't good there. Like, I'll chalk it and I won't fault him for it, but I don't understand going, oh, he's going to be amazing. Made no sense to me. Just embarrassing performance. Jake Slaughter at center, Austin Barber at left tackle played very well in my opinion. I think both of them played really well. Slaughter had this snap that was, I don't know. I don't know. The snap just was weird. I was like, are they trying to run something where they, like, Montreal takes a snap directly or whatever? I don't know what they were trying to do. Didn't work though. But I think Jake Slaughter and Austin Barber, outside of that play, I think Jake Slaughter and Austin Barber played very well. Najee Harris played well for his second career start, but didn't play well overall, in my opinion. That's just where I land on it. David, I mean, that right side of the offensive, the interception that Graham Mertz threw to Mish Powell, I know it's been going viral. I know people have been talking about it. You would not play a single snap for me after that. Like it was Cam Waits and Damian George. Lucky Rob Sales, the offensive line coach, and Billy Napier is the head coach. Because I promise you, if I was a coach and I had 2 players not even attempt to make the tackle on the right side of the right side of the offensive line, when the guy who gets the pick is running to that side and the center comes up and misses a tackle, which I don't care about. You're a center. I don't expect you to be good at tackling. But the center comes up and is at least makes contact with the ball carrier. And you got Hayden sprinting down the sideline after the guy. You have receivers chasing him. You've got everything. Graham's going. It was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing play. You would never touch the field for me again. Ever. If that's the effort you're going to put on a pick, I understand being tired. I get that. But you just gave up the ball. You're not playing the next play. You go maximum effort and you gave none. That's embarrassing. I know I said the coaching staff should have some pride, but as players, you should have some pride there. That almost got housed. And I know, like Cam Wade, Damian George, not the most athletic guys, not going to be making those plays. You at least put effort in. But they gave up the second Mish Powell caught that, and they should be embarrassed for that. Again, if it were me, they'd never touch the football field again for me. Not even special teams. You're going to put no effort? I'd be done with it. And I will say, Damian George's play at right guard was, I think, okay. Way better than what we saw from him at right tackle. I think he was okay. But again, just pure principle, the no effort, no hustle, you'd never touch the field for me again. Ever. That's just unacceptable. I don't care if you're down by 1,000. You give effort, and you didn't. And that's embarrassing. Like, you chose to do that. And NFL teams, I promise you, NFL teams are going to see that and go, not a great player and not going to give that effort for us. I'm good, thanks. If they haven't already said, I'm good, thanks. Tough stuff. Tough weekend. But again, I think the people of Gainesville and the people that traveled down there, I mean, I got to meet some of you for the second time, third time. You guys are incredible. You guys are awesome. And Florida Gators fan base, you deserve better than what you got on Saturday afternoon. Just know that. I know that after the game, Billy Napier was like, well, we need to have some long conversations, some hard conversations, some this and that. You need to be better because that Florida Gators fan base deserves better than what you gave them. No other way to put it. Florida Gators fan base deserve better. People spend good money. They donate money. And that's what you're giving them. That's a slap in the face. Be better. Try harder. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day, every day. We are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. We'll be back tomorrow. I promise you. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. And I will see you all next time.